Thank you for coming here, Mr. Tiegs,
Oh,
to have a talk. Why did you decide to recommend the closing of Russell Elementary School?
so it's kind of a tough decision. The closing of Russell Elementary School actually really is kind of two parts. There's a part where there's kind of a reduction in force of staff for the school district, and then there's a part where there's the closing of Russell. Ultimately, as I think about the future success of
Yeah.
our school district and for our kids, I think we have some big facilities challenges, so building challenges that include the high school, which is a big part of the conversation, but also the middle school and the currently existing elementary schools that we have. And in order to position ourselves to be the most successful moving forward in the future, when I looked at the numbers of students, when I looked at the services we were providing, I thought it was most equitable and also in the interest of the future of our district to close Russell right now with the vision of a better future, a new high school, and perhaps a newer renovated elementary school as well for our students. So that, all of those factors, and the need for future facilities was really probably the driving reason behind that.
And how do you think it's going to impact the students there?
You know, ultimately, I don't, decisions I make as a superintendent, my goal is to benefit the students. And I fully believe that these decisions, while they're hard right now, and there's people that are not maybe feeling good about some of these things, it's hard to say that a school building is going away. It's hard to say that some people might not have a job, but I think at the end of the day, a mentor of mine always said, never lose sight of doing what's best for kids. And so I think that I believe these decisions that I'm bringing to the board are a way of doing what's best for kids in the long term for Moscow School District students, so that students like you will have as good opportunities, equitable opportunities with students around the state.
And what has the community response been?
Well, they decided to have a parade for me. No, I'm joking. It's mixed, right? I think there are people with real, legitimate feelings that are not for closing down a building or reducing the number of teachers that Moscow has. We live in a community in Moscow that is very, very supportive of public education. And you guys, as middle schoolers, have you don't see the behind the scenes of how taxpayers paying a lot of money for you guys to have nice things and good high quality teachers and a quality education. And so it's hard to say these things like, oh, we're going to close a school. And so we get a mixed response. We get people who say, thank you for making tough decisions and tough recommendations. And we realize it's not easy. And we realize you're not doing this just to like save a dollar or to whatever, make us more efficient that way, but that we can, that we are doing these things for the future success.
Yeah.
And so that we can use some of the funds we have for more targeted investments. One of those things that I really think about is like the growth of a program just like what you guys are doing right here. Like it's really cool. It's cool to watch what you guys are doing as you broadcast like the football games and the basketball games, and even, I've seen you guys do cheer and other things, and doing these type of interviews. Like how cool would it be if the middle school had a space where you actually had a room where you didn't have to have other people around and we could do this interview, right?
Yeah.
And we could do some really cool things for kids if we start making some tough decisions. Not easy. The community's response overall has been mixed, with people that are supportive and people that are not. Part of my job is navigating all of those things and be able to answer questions that people ask and then also provide a vision for what I believe is the future of the Moscow School District.
Okay. If the board approves closure of Russell Elementary, do you have any plans for the building?
A couple of people have asked me that. I don't have any, there's no Mr. Tiggs plan or something like that right now. I think there's a wide range of possibilities. On one end of the spectrum, there's the possibility that you could, while Russell's temporarily closed, you could make a decision that elementary building still has value, and you might remodel it and renovate it and make it really useful for elementary students. Or you might make the decision that really it's too old and we need to tear it down to the ground and we could rebuild another elementary school there. Those have costs. And on the other end of the spectrum, you could potentially sell or repurpose Russell for some other use that maybe wouldn't involve having kids in it. So there's a range of things, but I think ultimately having that building available gives our district some flexibility to make these decisions about moving forward the kinds of opportunities that we want to provide for our kids, for our students.
Yeah. Last question is, do you think the board will approve the closure of Russell Elementary?
I don't know. Ultimately, I'm not a board member, and I was never elected by anybody in Moscow to serve in my position. So the people of Moscow have spoken and have elected these 5 board members as their representatives to make hard decisions about, and easy decisions sometimes, about the school district. And so they don't get paid to do that job. They volunteer their time, and they deliberate and think about what the best decision for the district is. I get paid to help recommend those decisions and help implement the things that they want to do. So if they tell me to do something, then I work for them to do those things. But it ultimately, on big decisions like this, it doesn't come down to me. I'm saying this is what I think would be in the best interest of the district, but it really does come down to them making a decision and telling me how to proceed. They could theoretically say, no, thank you. Thanks for the recommendation, but we're going to continue on with what we're doing. I don't believe that would be in the best interest of kids, of students, of you guys, but they can choose that, and I would support that because they were elected to represent and to make those tough decisions. They will do, next Wednesday, they'll have a board meeting, and that'll be their first opportunity to really tackle that issue and make a decision about how they would like me to proceed.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your time,
Yeah.
and that's it.